Welcome to another great episode here at the Pastor's Pantry Cooking School. I'm your host, Chef Sam Peters. Great to have you with us today for a wonderful Caribbean-inspired surf and turf class. But before I get into that, let me share with you, as I do every episode, the gospel of good taste. These are the two things that we're most passionate about. The first, that we believe everything's about stewardship. James 1:17 tells us that every good and perfect gift is given to us by God, and food is a gift. And so we want to teach you some things about food today that will help you make every dining experience great at your house. The second thing we're passionate about is community. We believe God created us to be in community with one another, and we don't think there's a better metaphor for community than food. Jesus was constantly sitting down, eating with people and building relationships. And so our hope and prayer is that what we teach you today will help, when you gather people around your table, will help you make it the sacred place and the sacred time it was always meant to be. We're going to get started off with some jerk shrimp skewers. And so very simply, this is just some large shrimp with our Pantry Jamaican jerk sauce. Very, very simple recipe. I've already just kind of put these in a bowl. Now, you want to use two skewers to do this. It's actually easier to turn the shrimp when you have two skewers instead of one, because it just wants to spin around on one. So we put each of our shrimp, they're peeled and deveined. So each of them are put through the skewers. We have 3 on each skewer. This is actually going to go on top of our meat entree today. So I'm just going to kind of brush one side of these with a little bit of our Jamaican jerk sauce. And then we're going to put it sauce side down on a hot grill, and then we'll baste the other side when we turn it over. So Joyce, if you'll kind of come around back here and let's film getting these on the grill. All right, Joyce, here's all we're doing. Just very easily setting all of our shrimp down on the grill. Again, salt side down. And they're going to need about 2, maybe 3 minutes each side. And then we'll turn them over and grill the other side. And we're just going to baste these a little bit more.
Don't those look good already?
Oh, it's sizzling away. That's what we want. And our Jamaican jerk sauce is not super hot. All right, we're starting to turn some of these over here. Don't those look fabulous? You getting those, Joyce? Those look fantastic. All right, there's the first one to come off. You got that, Joyce? Mm-hmm. When they're nice and pink, and you don't see, they're not gray, but nice and white on the inside, that's where you want them. So we're going to use these on the top of our steak. We'll show you what that looks like here in just a little bit. All right, as part of our surf and turf class, we kind of went with a little Caribbean-inspired surf and turf theme today. We're making grilled Jamaican sweet potatoes. It's a great recipe. Joy, share with us what is included.
All right, for our Jamaican grilled sweet potatoes, this is going to serve 10. We need 4 tablespoons of packed brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of butter, softened, and you need to divide that, 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. You need 1.5 teaspoons of fresh ginger. We actually use ginger paste. You need 1.5 teaspoons of dark molasses, 1.5 teaspoons crushed or pureed pineapple, and we actually use fresh because we're going to use that in a salsa later. You need 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. You need 1.5 tablespoons of cilantro chopped, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and 2 to 3 pounds of sweet potatoes scrubbed and cut diagonally into 1/4 inch thick slices.
All right. What'd I call it?
Grilled Jamaican sweet potatoes.
Well, Jamaican grilled
I know,
Jamaican.
the words are there.
Tomato, tomato, potato,
The words
potato.
are there. Jamaican grilled sweet potatoes or
Jamaican
grilled
or Jama,
sweet
I
potatoes.
can. Either one, it's all the same. Okay, well, let's get making a little bit of a marinade here. We've got our brown sugar is going in. We're going to include our ginger. Now, if you have some freshly grated ginger, you can certainly do that, but we had some ginger paste, which is easier to mix. We're going to throw our butter in here as well. And then I just want to mix this together. In some respects, I'm kind of creaming the butter a little bit, Joyce. You know how
with that brown sugar?
Yeah, you know how you do, you'll cream butter with white sugar sometimes, you know, as a base. That's sort of what we're doing here. So just got a fork and just sort of mixing it. We don't have enough that we really would need a mixer. We can just do this with a fork. It's pretty easy. Mixing that together. Now to that, I'm going to add our molasses. And this is some dark unsulfured molasses that we're using. But you use whatever molasses you've got in your kitchen or that you can get your hands on. All right, we're going to add in that pineapple. This is
I can sure smell that ginger.
oh yeah, it's so good. These are just great Caribbean flavors. Then the almond extract is fantastic for this. Love having that. I'll mix all that together. And this is going to make just this lovely little paste. Nice sweet paste that we're actually going to brush on our sweet potatoes when they're nearly done. Okay? All right, so I've got that mixed in, and then finally I want to stir in that cilantro. And I just need to stir that in. Okay?
And I left that in a little bit bigger chunks so that you can actually see it.
We like seeing it.
Yeah.
We don't like to bury things. We like those little pieces of color. Okay. All right. So then, once you have this mix, just set it aside. Now we're going to go and
How
work
about
on
some
our
cayenne?
potatoes.
Did you put some
That
cayenne?
doesn't go on until after I have it on the grill.
Oh, okay. See, I saw that little container sitting there. I'm like, uh-oh, we
Sometimes
forgot
I forget
something.
stuff, but I did not forget that one. Okay. So what we did is we went ahead and put these in the microwave for 5 minutes to kind of pre-cook them a little bit. Okay. And so I'm just going to get rid of if you have little tiny ends like that, just get rid of that. That's not going to help you any. So we just want to cut these in 1/4 inch on the diagonal, okay? Kind of pretties them up a little bit, kind of gives you a little bit longer slice, especially with these smaller sweet potatoes. But Joyce, that little bit of par cooking that we did, you can tell they're a little bit softer than if they were just raw. Now we scrub these potatoes, so we wash them. You leave the skin on in this case.
It's going to help hold your sweet potato together
Absolutely.
by leaving the skin on.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to dice all of these up here, and then we'll show you how we're going to cook them here in just a second. We have all of our sweet potatoes all diced up, about a 1/4 inch dice, and then we just want to take that butter, we're going to pour that over the top, and then we just want to toss these a little bit. We want to make sure they're all well coated. And then we're going to go ahead and put these on the griddle. We've got that over some heat. Got them nice and hot. You want to get that nice and hot for about 5 minutes. And so we're going to grill these for about 4 or 5 minutes each side, and then turn them over. And we put them on the grill. I'm going to put a little bit of that cayenne pepper on there. So Joyce, if you'll follow me around, we'll get these on the grill. So all we're doing is placing these slices of sweet potato on our hot griddle. Coated them with butter. Now I want to hit them with just a little bit of this cayenne pepper. Just a touch. We're only going to put this on one side. We don't want to overheat, folks. Again, we're going to cook these for about 4 minutes, and then I'm going to flip them over, cook them for about another 4 minutes until they're nice and tender, and then they'll be ready to serve. We're going to put that mixture on it when they're ready, when we get ready to serve them. So we'll show you what it looks like when we get it done. Our Jamaican grilled sweet potatoes have come off the grill. We had to do that in about 3 batches. And so now we want to coat this with that molasses and butter and sugar mixture. I've already got several coated. Joyce, you got a good shot of that?
I do.
Man, it looks so good, and it smells fantastic. Again, you got the pineapple, you got the ginger, you got all these great flavors in here. So we're going to coat a few of these. Finish them up. Took us about 4 minutes on each side. We would grill them up and then turn them over. And it turned out just fine. So I'm just putting just a quarter to a half teaspoon of our mixture on here. I think I have them all coated pretty well. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and try one of these now. I want to make sure our flavor is good on it. So let's pick a good one out here. We'll take this one right here. It looks pretty good. All right, ready? Hot all the way through. Soft just a little bit, still on the crisp side. That's where I want. I don't want mushy sweet potatoes. And that sweet molasses flavor with a little bit of ginger comes through. And then as you swallow, you pick up just a touch of that cayenne pepper. It's not hot, but you kind of feel something in the back of your throat. That's that cayenne pepper kicking in. So listen, this recipe is going to be out on our website, PatterFamSauces.com. Go out and check it out and make it. And when you make it, I know you will, we want you to brag about it on our Facebook page. So post pics of your food that you make out there so we can kind of share it with the world, okay? Hey, we're still cruising along with our Caribbean-inspired surf and turf class tonight. One of the things that we want as a topping for our entree is a great pineapple salsa. So we're going to put that together for you. But Joy's going to tell you all the ingredients that we need first.
All right, this is going to serve about 8, maybe 10, just kind of depends on how you're serving it. You need a half of a pineapple, diced. We're going to use fresh. You could also do canned. You want to do it in a light syrup or water, and you want to drain all that liquid off. We need a half a red onion, finely diced, 1 jalapeno seeded and finely diced, 2 tablespoons chopped cilantro, 1 tablespoon sugar, the zest of 1 lime, and a pinch of salt.
All right. Did you say juice of 1 lime and zest also?
I did not.
Okay, see, I need juice of 1 lime and the zest of 1 lime.
I missed that part.
We got to get that in there.
All right.
I don't know if that was in the instructions or not, but we got to make sure that goes in there. So we're going to get started. I've already kind of cut up a pineapple, got the outside husk and stuff off. We need about half of this pineapple chopped. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that. We actually have a really cool tool for coring pineapple, which works great for this, but since most of you probably don't have that, I'm just using my knife, okay? So I'm just getting rid of the core. I want that out of there. It's just hard to chew that stuff. It's got a lot of flavor in it. It's just hard to chew. So we're going to cut the core out. So all I did was cut it in half, quartered it. And again, this is a salsa, so it's going to be chunky. So we're going with about a 1/4 inch slice. And we're going to come back and just cut those up some more. And again, you can use the canned pineapple if you want, but I'm telling you what, it is great if you can get the fresh, all right? So we want to try to stick with the fresh if we can.
This doesn't look like a very juicy pineapple.
It actually is. It's pretty good.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know we've had some of them and there's juice just everywhere.
Well, I did a little quality assurance testing there.
Did you?
Trust me, it's got juice in it. We'll go ahead and get some of that in my bowl here. just because I need more room on my cutting board. This is going to look great as a garnish on top of our meal tonight. Not only has a lot of flavor, but also a lot of color. All right, so we have our pineapple in there. And then we need some red onion, just a half of a red onion. Cut my top and bottom off here. Now, if you happen to get a red onion that's kind of pungent, one of the things that you can do is to actually cut this and then soak it in some cold water for about 10 to 20 minutes, and it will actually sweeten it up for you a little bit, okay? So if you get one of those onions that's super duper strong, just give that a try. There's the last few pieces in there. Now I just want to cut these, I want them to be nice and fine, so I didn't cut them too thick. Okay. So I'm just running my knife back through across the grain of the onion. We're going to throw all of that in there. Again, this is a topping that's going to go on top of some steak and some shrimp. And so you have to have flavors. Not ready for those yet. You have to have flavors that are going to stand up to that. You know, this is not a place for a mild salsa. Cut these little pieces up here. All right, just about there. It doesn't take long really to put this together. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to show you from start to finish how this goes together. Great combination of flavors. You want flavors that'll kind of pair well opposite one another. All right, we need one jalapeno. We're going to stem that and we're going to seed that, okay? So I just like take my paring knife. You got that, Joyce?
I got it.
And just sort of run it through there and get that membrane out and get all those seeds out of there. Okay, just like that, super easy.
We have a tool for that too.
We do have a tool, but not every, I got a tool to just core that right out for jalapeno poppers. It's fantastic. Now, I guess if you want the heat, leave the seeds in there. Now, one of the things we're doing here too is, again, we're doing a really fine dice on our jalapeno because we want this jalapeno to almost kind of disappear in there, and that way you don't get like a big bite of jalapeno. You get little tiny bits of it as you go. So that heat is just a little background. It's nothing serious, okay? So you want to do a real fine dice, or what they call brunoise, okay? French word for small dice. So do a little brunoise on there. All right, one more. And again, I'm just cutting these nice and thin, coming back the other way. And just putting a small dice on our jalapeno. And I like salsa with a little bit of heat, so it's going to work nicely for us. A little bit right in there. All right, and then we need a little bit of cilantro, about a tablespoon's worth. Again, I'm just going to do a rough chop. Sort of bunch it all up, run your knife through it. Come back through the other way. It's going to give great color and a great flavor. All right, then we have about a tablespoon of sugar. Helps sweeten it up. So even if those pineapple weren't too juicy and sweet, they're sweet now. Okay? So we have those put in there. And then I want to zest a lime. Okay? And I've got two. We actually have one we've zested already for another part of this meal. But I've got this other one. I've got this cool zesting tool. Is that the camera I'm on, Joyce, right there? Okay? You want to get yourself a nice zester to do these kinds of things. Those little tiny ones are great for decorations, but they don't work well for this. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead, and we just want to get just the green part. You don't want a lot of the white part, because that's bitter.
So slow down just for a second and then hold that up so they can see how it accumulates in there.
All right, see that?
Yep, there
Got
you
it?
go.
All right, so that's all we're doing. Just a food grasp is all it is. It's a great little zesting tool. Every kitchen should have one. By the way, a lot of these cool tools that we use on our show, we have out on our website. We have a gear tab out there. And in the gear tab, there's all this cool stuff, and you can click there and it'll take you right to an online site that you can purchase it, okay? You're not buying it from me, but we took the time to research it and put it out there for you because we kept getting a lot of requests about where people can do this. And our son was kind enough to figure out how to do all that, so he put that on our website. Okay. I'm just going to try to get all of that, Joyce. I want this to be real zesty. All right. See if we get another shot of that.
There you go.
Okay, that's what we have. All right. So we have that all done. Then I want to go ahead and I want to juice one of these limes. Helps if you roll it out. You get a little bit more juice out of that way. Okay. And then we're just going to cut that in half. Juice that over our salsa. And then our final ingredient is just a pinch of salt. And then we just want to stir this around. Let's get it all mixed together. See, it's got some nice color to it. And you're going to want to let this marinate in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to get all those flavors nice and happy. And then it'll be ready as our garnish for our entree. So we'll show you what that looks like on the plate here when we get it done. See in just a little bit. All right, now it's time for really what's going to serve as not just part of the meal, but a base for our surf and turf, our Caribbean-inspired surf and turf, and we're making polenta. Okay, so I have a pot full of water. It's boiling. We're just about ready to come to a boil. We're going to add some salt to that. I'm going to whisk that around just a little bit. Let that come back to a boil. Okay, now it's time for us to slowly add our polenta. Now, Joyce, have you got a shot of that?
Yes.
Okay, that's what polenta looks like. It's just some really coarsely ground cornmeal. It's a lot like grits, okay?
So now hold it back because the bowl got steamed up. Okay, there you go.
Got it? Okay. So anyway, we want to add this, just slowly add this in. I want to keep whisking the whole time. Just slowly add your polenta back in there. Joyce, this would be maybe a good time to tell them what all is going in this.
Alrighty, so this is going to serve 6. We started with 6 cups water, 1 teaspoon salt, 1.5 cups polenta. We're going to use 4 tablespoons of butter divided and 3/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese plus more for the garnish. And use real Parmesan cheese. We actually grate our own.
Yeah. So all my polenta's in here. So as soon as you get all the polenta incorporated into the water, continue to stir, but turn your heat down to low. Just keep whisking that. And we're going to whisk this and stir this until it starts to thicken. That's going to take us about 5 minutes. Now at that point, the polenta, it'll still be loose. And then we're going to put a lid on it, cover it, cook it on low heat for 30 minutes. We're going to stir it about every 5 minutes until it's nice and creamy and all of the individual grains are very tender. All right, as you can tell, our polenta has begun to thicken up. So at this point, we're going to put our lid on here, keep it on low heat, and we're going to cook it for about 30 minutes. And again, I'm going to stir it about every 5, and then we'll show you how we're going to finish it after the 30 minutes. All right, our polenta, as you can see, boy, it's just bubbling hot. It's been cooking for 30 minutes. We've been stirring it every few minutes. But it's nice and creamy and thick, okay? That's what you're going for. So at this point, we're going to turn our heat off. And we're going to add half of our butter. And this is going to be hot enough to melt that butter. We've been letting our butter sit out and get to room temperature anyway, so it won't take much. And then I'm going to switch to a wooden spoon because I'm going to add half of our cheese. Now the other half we're going to save. We're going to garnish about half of it when it's served with a little bit more of that butter. So when you put it on the plate, put a little butter on it and put a little bit more cheese on top of it. Okay. Ooh. It smells so good, that Parmigiano Reggiano. All right, so that's all ready to go. And we'll show you what it looks like when we get done plating. All right, now it's time to get to the main thing. You always want the main thing to be the main thing. This is the meat that we're using for our Caribbean-inspired surf and turf, and we're doing filet mignon, but we're going to do it a little differently today. I reverse seared this beef filet. Joyce, can you kind of get a shot of that? What we did is we trimmed that all out, we tied it up, we put it on the smoker at 250 degrees, and we cooked it a little bit more than we normally would. We cooked it to 155 degrees or medium well, because we're going to be plating this on top of the polenta. So I don't want it to be very bloody, but we let it rest for an hour. Okay, I'm going to slice it, we're going to grill it, and then we're going to shingle it over top of the polenta. And we'll show you what that looks like when we get around to plating. Hey, listen, y'all, we have had a great time today doing a Caribbean-inspired surf and turf meal for you. Let me recap what we made. We made a very tangy coleslaw, a little different. Great recipe. We didn't videotape that, but we want you to go out and make that. It's delicious, little Caribbean-inspired there. We made some wonderful grilled sweet potatoes, and we made a little Caribbean sauce for that as well with molasses and brown sugar, and that's just fantastic. Very sweet, very, very delicious. And then our main course was filet mignon. We shingled that, put that over top of our creamy polenta. We topped the steak with some caramelized onion, and then we also made some jerk shrimp, and then topped that with some pineapple salsa. Hey y'all, listen, these recipes are out on our website, patterfamsauces.com. Go out and get the recipes, and when you make it, and I know you will, we want you to brag about it on our Facebook page. Put your food pictures out on the Pastor's Pantry Facebook page and let us share it with the world, all the great things that you're making. This recipe and a whole bunch more are available to you out on our brand new YouTube channel, the Pastor's Pantry Cooking School. Go out and check it out, subscribe to it today, and listen, make this as soon as you can. Bless cooking.